They have reviewed the cost of making best use of it was expanding.
Which in Essex, in Brightlingsea, which has been invaded by...
An alien is any plant or animal or taxon that is moved from one country or region and introduced either deliberately or accidentally by humans to another region where it establishes. Now, an established alien is one that is able to maintain itself, effectively it can maintain a population that is self-replacing in that region. And an invasive alien is one that, after establishing, actually begins to spread. And this is where it actually starts to cause problems and raises issues such as what should we do about them. We have lots of different species doing very different things in different parts of Europe. There's no species that we could really say is a European species. They're all very patchily distributed across Europe. And this means that European countries have very different perspectives of what their alien pressures are. And this causes problems when we try and develop a comprehensive and unified policy on alien species. Highly developed economies tend to, unfortunately, ruin the environment far more than those that are less developed in Europe. With economic growth comes trade. And with trade, you introduce organisms, either deliberately or accidentally. In the last 50 years, exports and trade has accelerated considerably, and this is probably one of the major sources of the problems that we're facing today. So what do we do? Are we going to stop our economies growing? Probably not. But what we might be able to do is to try and regulate trade in such a way as to reduce the risk of introducing species. You can start classifying the types of organisms by the way they spread. Invertebrates are largely entered Europe as contaminants. Plants are escapes from gardens. Mammals often have historically been released. So if you know how to manage those processes, maybe you can reduce the future impact or the future risk of these organisms entering Europe. Hybrids can be problematic. Others cause health problems. So one of the major causes of hay fever in Central Europe is due to the pollen of an alien plant. Other species outcompete, so they will get the resources more easily than native species. Other aliens will actually eat native species, and some will just change ecosystems completely. They'll remove the dominant species and the ecosystem is no longer the same as it was before. The key thing is just to have things in moderation. So not to prevent everything from coming into Europe, but to make sure that those things that are most at risk to our own native biodiversity is prevented and controlled. So it's only a small proportion, but it's a risk management exercise. So we reduce the risks to native biodiversity from these species. There needs to be a central body that looks after these issues and manages them effectively, raises awareness across the country, and balances the complex cultural element across Europe so that it can deliver solutions locally, but also of global relevance.